Hello, 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 everybody. How are you? And happy Tuesday. Welcome to our Tuesday morning business growth insights. I'm just going to wait for, excuse me, a few seconds to check that I'm live. And it says I'm live, which is great. Guys, if you're jumping on this morning, say g'day in the comments, because you guys know I say it every single week and it's true. I love to feel like we're all in the room together rather than me just talking to the camera, which I can see I am live and talking to the camera now. Great. All right, guys. So we have people this morning watching on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, in several different places, on my timeline, in my Confident Successful Business Owners group. If you would like to join our group where you can watch all the replays of these trainings, the link is in there. Hello, Alicia. How are you, beautiful lady? So we have a very interesting topic, as we always try to provide you with interesting topics. We're going to talk about this morning financial preparation for starting a business, and also even if you've been in business for a little while, I have no doubt that this topic is still going to help you as well. And I'll get on to that in a minute. But for anyone who's watching this live or watching the replay, pop hashtag replay in if you are. I'm fantastic. It's good to hear you're good, Alicia. I'd love to tell you a little bit really quickly about me. Guys, if you have not seen me around the traps before, my name is Ali Sugars, and I am the founder and the principal of the Heart and Soul Business Academy, where we have a real passion for helping people to either start their businesses, grow their businesses from where they are, and definitely to go to the next level and scale in your businesses. Hey, Janelle, how are you, darling? And we teach on 4 pillars. We teach on mindset, always comes first, motivation, which is goal setting and planning, organic marketing, which is all throughout business, and momentum. So once you're starting to have those incredible sales, we teach you how to grow and get more and more sales. So there, we love our Heart and Soul Business Academy. Good morning, Palm May. Again, I can see there's quite a few jumping on. So again, if you are jumping on, say g'day in the comments. You're watching the replay, pop hashtag replay. Now, I am going to jump straight in this morning because we do have a lot to talk about. Financial preparation in business, guys, is really, really important, right? How we handle our finances in business, really, that's such an important part. And ironically, it's a aspect of business that a lot of us avoid. So we're going to be, I don't want to use the word confrontational, but we're going to dive into this topic that people do avoid today, because, you know, I love to kind of tackle the things that we avoid. And as you guys know, I'm not ashamed to say that mistakes like avoiding finances and things like that, I've made them all. And I love to come, and one reason I do these lives is to help you guys avoid making mistakes I have. All right. So, you know, many of us, when we do decide to go into business, we are so keen to just get going. We want to skip the process, you know, of finances and dive right in, without understanding anything to do with the financial side of it. We all live and learn. Exactly, Alicia. We sure do. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And like I said, I've got so much to go to. So if I am going through this very fast and you want to watch the replay, make sure you do join our Confident Successful Business Owners Facebook group, because that's where we house all the replays. All right. So first of all, we need to understand your financial landscape. So what access do you have to your current finances? And what current finances do you have? Then what we need to do is, once you have an understanding of that, is create a realistic, now remember that word, realistic personal budget and business budget. Now, the way I suggest doing it is, especially if you are someone who's excuse me, if you're in a day job and you're looking to eventually quit that day job. So you're looking to start your business and make that your full-time income and quit your day job, right? So do your personal budget first on the current income that you have. And if you are in the day job, you may be able to fund your business a little bit that way. This is where most people will start, guys. Okay, so most people we call, solopreneurs. Good morning, Natty. How are you, darling? Solopreneurs. What do we call it? Sole traders in Australia is what we call it. Okay, so this is where most people are going to start. Now, the thing that people do avoid when we decide that we're going to start a business is doing a business budget to the best of our knowledge. It's a business budget, business forecast, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we're going to talk about more on these two topics a little bit later this morning. So what I want you to do is work out what your financial goal is. What do you want to earn out of your business? And again, especially if you are looking to make your business your full-time income. What are you looking to make in your business in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 12 months? Okay. This is especially imperative if you are looking to quit that job. I don't avoid it. So many people avoid this. I avoided this when I wasn't even in a day job. I just went into starting my business. I had a certain amount of money in the bank, but I didn't set the goals, the financial goals that I wanted to make. And I was floundering. So when you set and determine what those long-term and short-term financial goals are, it's really great for motivation. One of the pillars that we teach on, right? And it helps keep you on track. It's ironic because a lot of the time, I talk about finances, finance can't be the only reason why you start a business. Good morning, Crispy Crack. How are you, Susie Manley? However, right, so a lot of times, I say that can't be the only reason we start a business. That's true, it can't. Well, obviously, we've got other reasons why we start a business, but the realistic version of that is finances are often a huge reason why we start our own business. So these are the things we need to do. Track your progress, guys, right? Check on how you're going every single month. And if you're not where you want to be, then you know that you're going to need to do a little bit more. You might need to learn a bit more. You might need to invest in some training that's going to help you get there. Okay, so you see there's a lot to it. Now, okay, so how are you, now that you've kind of got an idea about how you're going to, about the budget, about where you want to go, you've got a vision, got a goal, how are you going to fund it? Oh, now we'll get straight into it, aren't we? All right, so the first one is where most people will start, and it's called bootstrapping. So this is where we use our personal savings to start our business. So like we talked about, right, savings, you might decide that if you're in a day job, you might decide to take a certain amount of your weekly income or fortnightly income from that day job and invest it into your business. And see it as exactly that, guys. See it as an investment in your business. So when people are starting this way, and like I mentioned, most people, this is where we'll start, is for the first year or so, most of the profits are going to go straight back into your business and they're going to help it grow while you're still financially stable in your job. Okay, and if you are someone who doesn't, unfortunately isn't in a day job, you can still do that. You can still work it out in your budget so you can put enough of the profits back into your business in order to help it grow. And this way, you don't have to worry too much, right? And, about the finance side of it and the worry side of it, and you can get busy creating what you need to create in that dream business. Who's with me so far? I would love to know actually who's watching and who is currently, tell me if you're either in a day job and looking to quit your business, if you're already running a full-time business, or if you're thinking about starting one and you're not quite sure where to start, tell me in the chat. Love to know. So I can see there's a few people watching. Now, with bootstrapping, okay, so reduce the costs. And there are so many options out there where, you know, there are things in the business that you can use, either tools that you can use for free or really low cost. In the Heart and Soul Business Academy, what we do, and I do this deliberately, we teach something called the Flintstones method. Now, this is for people who come in and they're not very techie, right? They struggle a little bit to embrace the technology, but they know they want to learn. Okay, and also that, you know, they might be bootstrapping, so they're using their own finances. So we teach you how to use free or very low cost resources that aren't techie. Looking at building the business side hustle. Beautiful, Janelle. Yes, and you are one of our wonderful HSBA members, and you're doing well, my darling. Okay. So, and I'm going to say, I just have to say, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, after almost 5 years of the business that we're still running, we still use mainly free and very inexpensive tools and very inexpensive apps. Because, you know, realistically, we're trying to keep our costs down and our profits up as much as possible. And there's no shame in admitting that. So we teach you the right apps and the right tools that you can use. Manage your cash flow really carefully, right? Something I personally dislike, and I hate being in debt. I don't like being in debt. And generally in life, this is especially in my personal life, I have a rule. If I don't have the money in the bank, I won't buy it, right? Sometimes, let's be realistic. Sometimes it's necessary to go into a little bit of debt to grow, but sensibly. And with the knowledge that the cash flow is going to be there when we put the effort in to earn it back. Okay, so again, this is what I'm saying, bootstrapping. And with bootstrapping, you can also borrow. You could choose, you can ask, right? Some people borrow small amounts of money from family if they need to, if the family are willing. Okay, and this is a big thing. I'm not going to say that this is a little thing. It's a big thing to go and ask family for money. I know there are some people out there who go and say, just go and ask your family for money. They'll give you anything you want. It's not always the case, guys. Now, I have had, not in this business, but I have had occasion previously to ask my parents to borrow some money. Okay, one thing I suggest, though, is that you must know that, remember that financial forecasting and financial planning, you must be sure that you will be able to pay it back. If you do choose this option, and I did this with my parents when I borrowed money from them, with this option, I suggest you create a payment plan and give it. And not only is it giving you peace of mind, but it's especially giving the people who are lending you this money peace of mind, right? So that's what I did with my parents. Yes, it was my parents. Yes, they love me, but I said, okay, so I don't even remember what the amount was. You know, I'm going to pay you back $100 a week until it's all paid off, whatever it was. Okay. So it is a big thing to ask your family. I'm not going to say it's not, but, you know, it is a possibility. Okay, so you can seek investors, guys. Now, this is a much higher level, but a good choice if you are creating new products and needing a larger startup capital to do it. All right. So we need to, with this option, understand the basis of pitching to investors. Now, you'll really need to understand and know your product or your service back to front, okay, and how it helps people, because you're going to need to go and, you know, pitch this to the investors. So what this will involve is a lot of market research, which you should be doing anyway in any business. A lot of market research, so that when you go to pitch to these investors, however you do it, you can grab people's attention and get them to say, I'm in, right? Like, I've just finished watching on Netflix Grace and Frankie, and how they go onto Shark Tank and they invest the Rise Up toilet, which I think is brilliant. Actually, I think that's a brilliant idea. But you want investors to say, I'm in, right? It's not necessarily something on Shark Tank, but there is something called angel investors, where people will ask for a percentage, right? This is what they're investing into your business. So they're going to be asking for a percentage of the profits. So you need to then prepare really a compelling business plan, right? And financial projections. So market research comes into it. Business plan comes into it. Financial forecast, they're a must here. Okay, and I know this, a lot of people, your head's probably spinning already. Doesn't need to be as complicated as it sounds though, but these are things that we need to do. Okay, so your potential investors are, what they're going to need is assurance that you can and that you will earn their money, because they're going to be putting their money, their hard-earned money into this, right? And like I said, asking for a percentage of the profits. So guys, if in doubt, start networking. Networking is everything right throughout business. And I know there's someone watching who's going to agree with me. And if you know who you are, I think you do, tell me in the comments. But who gets out there and networks? You know, are you getting out there and networking? Listen to what and how other businesses have gained their investors, if they have, right? And the type of things that the investors are looking for. So again, this is part of the market research that you need to do. Guys, remember, networking is one of the most powerful ways to get started and how to get people to know you. Now, whether you're asking for, you know, investors, whether you're already in business, you should be networking. If you're not, you are missing out on opportunities. And that was proven to me again in person last week when I went to a live showcase, business showcase. My first one. Is it my first one? Yes, it is. My first one since COVID, right? And I was reminded how important in-person networking is. So with this option, remember, right, that when someone invests in your business, like I said, they're going to ask for a percentage of the profits. So here you need to ask yourself, how much are you willing to part with? And you need to know, I can't stress enough, you need to know your product or your service back to front. Now, another way is explore loans and grants. Okay, now with loans, my opinion, this is my humble opinion, it might not be others. If you're not 100% positive that your product is winning, is a winning one, is a good one, and that you're going to be able to sell it, and that it's something that people want and need, like a rise up toilet, right? Then loans, I wouldn't suggest going for a loan. Okay, that's just me. Other people might disagree with that, and fair enough. Grants, on the other hand, are a little bit different. Okay. Now, also, of course, you can need, you need to know how you can earn, how you're going to earn enough to pay back the loan each month, you know, and so the loan itself is likely to be the biggest monthly expense. Let's be honest. All right. So, grants. Let's look at grants. Small business grants are fantastic if you can get them. They do, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, they do take a lot of work to apply for, and often the grants are only going to be a portion of what we need. Okay, so here in South Australia, I've looked at a lot of grants, right, in South Australia, and most of the business grants that I would see, the business owners need to generally match the amount that's awarded to them. So if you're going for a grant of 10,000, you need to, or let's say, 5,000, you need to match that and put in your own 5,000. A lot of the time that's not realistic, okay, depending on what business you're trying to start. And with grants, you need to be very careful, and you really need to study whether they're suitable for you, because they're often focused on specific niches like importing or agriculture or small business grants, okay, but a particular type of small business. So grants in Queensland are a bit of a this is interesting. Grants in Queensland are a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. There is so much to go through and boxes to be ticked. There are boxes to be ticked, and I'm going to say I agree with that, Susie. Not necessarily ones in Queensland, but just over a year ago, right? I applied for a government grant, and I received it to assist my business, and it did, and it helped me no end. But yes, there were a lot of boxes that I had to tick to do it. But it was worth it, very worth it in the end, because what I was able to do was reinvest the profits back into or a lot of the profits back into my business and into continuous learning, right? I was able to re-educate myself or educate myself at a higher level so that I can keep growing the business now that the grant has ended. Okay, so yes, I'm going to say grants can be a nightmare, but if you've got the time, they're worth applying for if you can find one that's going to suit you. And I'm going to say I'm very grateful for that grant that I received. So understand the application process, which is what Susie's talking about, and the eligibility criteria. So read the application criteria through thoroughly before spending copious amounts of time applying. Okay, so you might find a couple of grants what you think are for you, but they're not. Or you might see something that you think isn't for you and you're going to think, oh, I might just check that out just in case, and find that it actually is for you. That's what happened to me. I actually thought, well, this grant, that's not for me. And then I read it and I went, oh, actually it is. I applied for it and got it. So check out anything that you think might help, but don't dive right in and apply for everything. Don't waste your time applying for everything. Apply for the ones that you see that you fit the criteria. It's really important. Weigh the pros and cons, guys. Debt versus equity. And if you're not sure what that is, debt finance is money that's provided by an external lender, such as the bank, such as even your family members. Okay, now with a bank, you're going to need to pay interest. So you need to understand that. You might even agree to that with your family members. Equity finances are what provide funding in exchange for part ownership of your business. So that's like your investors, your angel investors, okay, or you're selling shares to investors. Okay, so make sure that you understand that and research it more in your head, because this is just tipping, the surface, tipping the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg is what I'm trying to say today. So financial management and planning is a must. Again, another must. We need to do this right from the start, guys. And again, this is something that many of us avoid because we're so keen to jump on right into the business, get it happening. But we forget about money, right? And the bookkeeping and the accounting. Those are two words. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate those words because I failed maths in school. I failed bookkeeping in school. Ironically, my dad was a trained bookkeeper. That was his main profession. And I don't like numbers. But guess what? They are a part of business. We've got to do it. So set up a simple bookkeeping system. And in the Heart and Soul Business Academy, we provide our clients with a really simple bookkeeping system. Again, the Flintstones method to get them started. And so once you've got this simple bookkeeping system going, once you're starting to understand how your business is working, then that's when I suggest going, to upgrade to something as soon as possible, something like Xero or QuickBooks. Okay, and even I can use these, guys. Hallelujah. I can use Xero, I can use QuickBooks, and that's saying something for me. So make sure that you do this. I don't skip this step, because then you can spend 30 minutes a week, 30 minutes to an hour at the most tracking your finances. Know where every cent goes. Don't keep it all in your head, going, I think, I've got about, I think I've got $1,000 bills to pay this month. Or I think, I'm really going to do the numbers. And you don't do it in your head. Put it on the bookkeeping system. Have it there so you have a very clear understanding and it's very visual. You can see it, and be meticulous about it. Put time in your diary to do it each week. Consider hiring an accountant or a bookkeeper even, right? When you've been in business for a while, a bookkeeper, I'm going to say, is a great idea. You can send them the stuff that they need to do every week or every month, depending on how often you want them to work for you. That way they can do all the hard work, right? And you are going to be much more prepared for tax time. Now, this option here, guys, does not mean that you can just hand it all over to them, because you're still the leader in your business. You're still the business owner. You still need to do the finances and know where all your money is going. Don't just hand it over and go, I don't care, you figure it out. Because you need to know. I don't think I need to say any more on that, do I? Tax. Oh, here's a word we all love. In Australia, we're in the middle of tax time right now. What are we, August? We've got a couple of months until the tax has got to be finished. Yay, we love it, don't we? Now, business tax, guys, can be, but it doesn't have to be a minefield. So know what your tax obligations are as a new business owner. Know whether you need to apply for GST or not, right? In Australia, if you're earning over $75,000 in a year, you need to be applying for GST. You need to be putting in your BAS statements, all of that type of thing. Understand what you need to do on a monthly basis. Don't avoid it, learn it. And keep detailed records of all your transactions. Okay, accurate records will make it easier when you do decide to use a bookkeeper or an accountant this way. They're going to need to spend less time doing your books and your taxes, and therefore, guess what? You can pay them less, right? If they have to spend hours and hours and hours poring over a mess of receipts that you haven't kept track of all year, then you're going to get a big bill from them, right? Unfortunately, they're going to get a big bill. Learn about tax deductions and credits available for small businesses. Now, I'm sure this is the same with every country, but in Australia, these change or these update each year, you know, depending on the government finance man. I can't even word, but it's really important to start to date with those government changes, because the other thing is that, you know, often we get, you know, as small businesses, we get extra funding. We get a little bit of extra on our tax return. So understand your tax deductions, that, you know, if you work from home like I do in an office, you can claim part of your rent, part of your electricity, blah, 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 all of that. You can even, if you wear a uniform to work, you can claim part of your laundry. So understand and keep track of as much as you possibly can. And again, take advice from your accountant. Financial forecasting, guys. So this is going into the next year, okay? So do a budget and a financial projection for each new year. Don't just do it at the start of your business. Do it for each new year, because you're going to be growing, right? And by the time you've got to that stage, you can go, yes, I'm ready to quit my job and run my business full time. It's even more important that you have a financial projection and an understanding of where you're going to go. Your investors, if you have gone the investor route, they're going to want to keep having that financial projection. Adjust your business plan and your forecasts whenever you need to. And you're probably going to need to adjust these each year as well. All right, because as again, your business is going to grow, therefore your forecast is going to grow. Oh, smart. I feel so smart saying all this. I'm so unequipped, math. Oh, goodness. And use those projections to make informed business decisions, right? Do you need to cut back on something? Have you got a program that you're using that isn't suiting you any longer? Are you in a position of growth where you can add more tech or use something else, you know, add new products? Either way, financial planning and management is a must. Like I said at the beginning, it's a must from the start. We need to keep going. Don't avoid the money, guys. Don't avoid looking at finances. Be organized from the start, like I mentioned. And don't do what I did and ignore the finance side of things just because it's confronting and end up living week to week without any vision of where you're heading. That was me. Until I went, wait, hang on, I need to have a vision. I need to understand where this is going. So what I'm going to suggest is look at all these options, guys, right? Look at the guidelines in how you want to start your business. Look at the guidelines of how you want to help yourself financially, okay? So finances, guys, are a topic, like I said, they are confronting, but we do not avoid this topic in the Heart and Soul Business Academy. We dive deep into it. so that our clients can know and can understand their finances when they're starting their business or wherever they're at in their business. We don't avoid it. It's a must look at. So if you want to know more about this topic and all the other topics in mindset, motivation, marketing, and momentum involved in the Heart and Soul Business Academy, and you want to know how you can start, build, or grow your business, come and have a chat with me. We've got a new format. We've got more content being added all the time. Our strategies are getting kept up to date all the time because business strategies are always changing. I invite you to comment Academy in the comments below if you would like to have a chat with me about how the Heart and Soul Business Academy can help you. And I just want to remind everybody too that with this academy, I'm very, very proud to say that we are now donating 5% of all proceeds that come in through the academy to Rise Up Australia, which is an Australian foundation that helps people who are suffering family and domestic violence. This is something that's very, very near and dear to my heart, something that I have experienced myself, and I'm proud to say that we are now donating 5% of all our proceeds. So again, guys, if you would like to know more about the Heart and Soul Business Academy, pop Academy in the chat. I'd be very excited to learn about you and your business and how we can help you build and grow and start in your business. Love you all, guys. Thanks for watching me today. I look forward to talking to you in that call. And you'll never go wrong investing in yourself and in your business. Exactly. When you invest in yourself and when you take action and implement what you learn, you're always going to have success. See you next week, guys, and I'll see you in that call. Okay, bye.